weather from Lancashire into Yorkshire. I've come to Bramblewood Cottage in the village of Bradfield, just outside Sheffield, to visit the home of one of the leading pioneers in climate-resilient gardening. Professor Nigel Dunnett has worked on major public projects, including the Olympic Park. Hello, Nigel.
Hello. Hello, welcome.
And he's offered to show me how he's tackling the vagaries of our new climate on a domestic scale.
Oh, this is fantastic. It's so lush. Now, is that down to the rainfall you have?
Partly, we've had a lot of rainfall over the last month, but actually this is quite a special area because it's a rain garden. It's designed to capture and store all the runoff that comes off the house. And one of the first things that I did when we moved here, I thought very bravely, was actually to cut through the downpipe that comes off the roof of the house, add some additional bits of pipe onto it, take it underneath the path through the planting, and all the water that hits the roof empties into the garden, and it just soaks down slowly.
And you're planting into it?
The whole point is the water can just infiltrate and go down. So they capture the water, but they don't keep it.
And the environmental virtue of that is it stops it running away and causing flooding and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So are you having to exclusively use bog plants for this man-made puddle?
Well, we have a mix, so I can see ligularias here, which obviously like it wet. The astilbes, this beautiful astilbe purple lance. But there are other things in here. There are cosmias, which like it not so wet. There has to be that balance of things which will tolerate it being a bit drier at times, but also plants like astilbes that will be quite happy when the water comes in there.
As well as creating rainwater ditches that he can plant into, Nigel mixes native and non-native plants for a good diversity of climate-resilient species, which also attracts a wider range of insects. It may look all very natural and wild, but is actually the result of Nigel's very skillful planning and curation.
What are the biggest problems, do you think, facing us as a result of climate change? In our gardens, specifically?
Unpredictability. You cannot really plan for the future. So having that diversity of things means that in one year, some things will do better, and another year, other things will do better. Having resilience, I think, to allow things to bounce back.
Not only are there a wide range of plants which encourage insects, but there are also lots of log piles arranged into berms.
Nigel cleared the site, which was covered in sycamores. He had an awful lot of logs and he stacked them up. They became very good habitat for mammals and insects and even plants. And that really proves 2 points, is that it's quite possible to do the right thing for nature and for the environment, but at the same time, do something that looks beautiful.
I've now come further north, a few miles beyond York, to visit a garden I've heard a lot about. So I'm expecting grandeur of scale, huge variety, and, to be honest, some English eccentricity. Breezy Knees is one of the largest gardens that's open to the public in the north of England. It covers a huge area, some 20 acres, yet it was created in the last couple of decades from an agricultural field in the middle of nowhere with no house attached. And all this is the brainchild of Colin and Mary Lynn Parker.
I suppose I have to begin at the beginning. Did you sit down one day and say, let's make a 20-acre garden?
No.
So what happened? Why?
Midlife crisis. Seriously, yeah, well, you know, joking, but you get to a point in your life where you just think you want to do what you want to do, and you want to do what you enjoy doing.
What were you doing?
I was a pharmacist, and we had pharmacies.
We worked together.
Right.
So we've always worked together, even
good.
through all of this.
Yeah.
I love the even through all of this.
Even through all of this, yeah.
Were you living here, or did you buy this as part of the crisis?
No, this was it was actually, the land was, this was all arable farmland. It was a council tenanted farm. The council sold it off into different plots. We bought the biggest plot, and then we set about putting in well, trees, hedges, because the reason we got our name is because we would leave home in the morning, invariably, it'd be nice and calm and still at home. You get over here, and it was always windy, and that's because there were no trees.
But once a shelter belt was established, they could then begin the work on the garden itself, although that involved spending the first 8 years just preparing the ground. But now there are areas or separate gardens covering almost every horticultural style and planted with over 7,000 different varieties of plants. Colin is the passionate plant lover, whilst Mary Lem is the business brain.
It's very extreme. What brought you to this?
Well, I don't know where to stop. Mary Lynn knows where to stop, but I don't know where to stop.
Have to rein him in sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. So what would he do without you?
Actually, I don't know.
Neither do I, to be quite honest.
Over the years, I've met lots of men and women who have an intense passion for one group of plants, amounting to obsession. But I don't think I've ever come across a garden where that intensity of passion for plants has expressed itself in such quantity or diversity. And I think that's the driving force of this garden. I think it's all about Colin's insatiable love for plants. And the telling moment was when he said to me, the great thing about this garden is it's big enough to have any plant I want. And it's like a child in a sweetie shop.
From the lush vale of York, I'm taking myself back to a part of the country that has special associations for me. These are the North York moors, and long ago, I learnt to love them.
I came here in 1979, 44 years ago now, with my wife, Sarah, but she wasn't my wife then. We were running away, and we came to spend the winter from September till April, and believe you me, that is winter up in this part of the world, in a small building on the edge of the moor. And it was a magical, quite tough, but completely seminal part of my life. And so whenever I return here, it feels in a funny way like returning home. There's a little piece of me that's always up here on the moors. I now want to take you to a particularly British event, which I think captures that particular combination of passion and eccentricity that lies at the heart of the British love of gardening and growing things.
Today is the first Tuesday in August, and since the year 1800, that's the day the Egton Bridge Old Gooseberry Society hold their annual competition to find the heaviest gooseberry. Gooseberry shows were once common all over the north of England, but Egton Bridge is now only one of 2 societies left in the whole country. Nevertheless, the entrants come from far and wide.
This is my first year.
Is it?
First year showing.
Do you have to tend these with extra loving care?
Yeah, about 3 weeks before the show time, we put the golf umbrellas over them so that it keeps the sun and the rain off them. I'm just disappointed there isn't enough.
To be champion, you only need one, don't you?
Oh, yes, yes.
So how long have you been doing this?
About 5 or 6 years now. The problem is getting the guys who've been doing it for years, the world champion, Graham Watson, the heaviest berry, is getting them to give you any advice. I only found out with the sports umbrellas last year.
Of course he's not going to tell you,
No,
is he?
of course he's not. No, absolutely.
The heaviest gooseberry is determined by an apothecary scale using traditional units. That's to say drams and grains.
Give it the benefit of the doubt and go 1?
Let's go 1, yeah.
Yeah? 8. 0, 1.
And judging is a very serious business.
So do you find that the smaller the berry, the slightly more leeway you or slightly less trouble you take?
No,
Or is that a terrible thing to suggest?
it is really.
Yes,
It
yeah.
has to be
Okay.
the weight it is, Monty.
Yeah, no, I take it back. Of course, it was an outrageous thing to even.
Previous record